For most of us in marketing, at the speed that we are moving, it's so easy to get caught up in all of the latest and the greatest marketing technology that we forget about some of the most basic elements of marketing. Things like making sure that we have a good handle and grasp on our brand identity and sharing that with the entire organization. Making sure that we have a good plan in place and that we have a good strategy in place, that we're tracking the channels that we are most active in and tracking our competitors, knowing our personas. And there's so many more elements to marketing that it can get a little bit overwhelming. So what I want to do today is I want to show you how to create a system that will grow with you, it flexes with you according to your organization's need, and it won't break your budget. So what we're going to do is build on Airtable a system and use a little bit of AI in the mix to assist us with that, help us to be streamlined and efficient, and yet have a really great tool that's going to serve us and our team for a very long time to come. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is jump over to airtable.com. Airtable is one of my favorite tools, and it continues to impress me in the way that it grows and gets better along the way. And so one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when you go to Airtable, they've got a really fantastic AI tool that allows you to literally type in a prompt, describe the application or the tables that you want, and it will create it for you. Now, I'm going to give you everything that you see here so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to give you the prompts that I'm going to use. I'm actually going to give you a copy of the Airtable that we're going to create together so you can sit back and relax and just watch. You don't have to worry about monitoring every little detail because I'm going to give it to you all at the end and the bottom of this post. And so when you click Make from Scratch right here on Airtable, it's going to take you to the screen that just says, tell us about the app that you're building. And so I'm going to give you this prompt, but let me share with you what exactly I've told it I want to create. I want to create an organization system for marketing teams that serves as a repository for the brand assets, such as logos and fonts, as well as branding language such as mission, vision, and key messaging. Sounds pretty good, right? Now, in addition, the interface will house a list of personas, competitors, channels, campaigns, and a content area with AI fields which will expand on the team's ideas. In addition, there will be a visual content calendar showing all of the scheduled posts across all the channels. Now that sounds pretty great, and honestly, there's several tools that do some of these things, but they may not do all of them, or they may be very expensive. So this is going to be really cool. If we could hit this next button right here and create this application to do all that, that'd be fantastic. So let's hit the button and let's see what happens. So now it's generating an app for me using AI, and it's kind of building an interface for us. And here it is. Wow, just like that, we've got an app. No coders, no developers, no freelancers. I didn't have to hire anybody. I literally just typed in a prompt and I came up with this. So what do we have? Let's see what they created. Well, it created an overview for the brand assets tab. That's pretty great. And it's got an assets gallery and an assets dashboard, which I'm not sure what it created. So we're going to find out. And then it looks like it's got some language for us. Let's look through some of these. Wow. It created kind of a gallery for us where it looks like we could, put some stuff in here. I didn't give it too much information, so we can obviously edit this. And then let's go look at personas. It looks like it's created a couple of personas for us. Not too bad. Demographic information, some of the challenges, the preferred channels. Wow, all of this was done with AI. That's not too terrible. Now we can improve it, and we're going to in just a minute, but I think this is a fantastic starting point. And it's even given us a gallery of the personas. Obviously, these images need to be updated to a person, but I think this is a fantastic start. Let's look at our competitors and see what it did for us here. Yeah, it looks like it gave us a couple of fictional companies and described their industry, maybe their market position, their strengths and their weaknesses. Not bad at all. Let's look at the campaigns tab and see what it came up with. Okay, so it's kind of generated a couple of campaigns for us. Obviously, these are generic, but most importantly, it's created a structure for us that you and I could use in our own companies Oh, and here's the calendar. So we actually have a calendar. So, it's easy to find a content calendar. There's 1,000 of them that you can download online. What this has done for us, though, is it's given us a system, kind of a repository for us to hold all of the things. Now, that's a great start. And if you learn nothing else in this tutorial, you know that you can now go to Airtable, type in the prompt that I gave you, or expand on that prompt and come up with something pretty good. There's a lot of tutorials about Airtable, and my goal here is not to exactly show you how to work Airtable, but what I do want to do is show you what's possible using a little bit of AI and a little bit of your marketing acumen together to build a really powerful system. Now, what I want to do is kind of fast forward a little bit and give you some more ideas and show you a more expansive system that I built starting right here. Okay, here we are in this additional Airtable that I created. Again, it started with the Airtable AI tool, something very simple like I showed you earlier. But then I've gone in and kind of customized it using 25 years of marketing experience and thinking, what would I really want for me and my team to be able to have? One of the advantages of having a system like this to organize all of your marketing is that you don't have to think through things over and over again. This is fantastic when you're adding new team members to your team, because you can just send them over to your dashboard like this and say, look, here's our mission, here's our vision, here's our core values, here's some of the phrases that we like to use in our marketing. But then I went a little further and said, well, what about our brand assets? And of course, these are just made up brands. I just made all of this up for this demo. So I just created a mock brand here. And this is a great place for me to kind of house. If you're familiar with a DAM or digital asset manager, this kind of serves as that for you. And you could serve up some of your black and white logos, your color logos, your horizontal logos, your vertical logos, a reversed version. Everything would be right here. I also added a little section for primary colors and secondary colors and tertiary colors. That way I know the hex code that's always right here, and we can always send our team right here to get a quick glance. I even added in a couple of fonts, and if I didn't do this for this demo, but we could actually literally upload the font file itself by just clicking on here, and we would have access to maybe the true type font that we need to share with a designer or something like that. So that's pretty cool. So this is really great little dashboard for our brand. And then I set up another tab here for differentiators. And this is pretty cool because I basically took those competitors and I wanted to have a screen where we could differentiate ourselves from our competitors with some kind of a scoring system. And I'll show you how I did that in just a second. And then there's the personas down here. Now you can see this immediately looks a lot different. I just found some sample images, I threw them in here, and we've got a couple of personas. And all of this was generated by AI. I haven't touched any of these persona profiles other than updating their images. Just using that simple prompt that I showed you at the very beginning with Airtable, and all I did is uploaded a couple of images that reflect these personalities or these personas, and here we go. We've got some great information, and you could go in here and of course edit them. We don't have to stick with what AI gave us, but it's a really great approach. And by the way, one of the best approaches I see right now in marketing related to AI is not thinking of AI as a tool to do it all for us. AI assistance is where it's at. So we're going to let AI do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then we're going to go in and use our human expertise and refine it. And this is a great example of that. And then there's a content ideation tab where we can literally, and this is where some of the other AI magic is, we can literally just kind of come up with a little bit of an idea and then go down to this area called enhanced content, hit a button, and AI will generate some content for us based on the idea that we started with. And even more, it'll even give us a prompt to use in your favorite image, AI image creator like Flux or Ideogram. Now, how do we do all that? What you're looking at here is what's called an interface in Airtable, but Airtable has other views, and one of those I showed you earlier is just a strict data view. And so this is kind of where you see all the backbone, if you will, of what that interface looks like. So everything that you see on the front end here just came from the data that we put in, that's all. And so you can see all of these tabs here, the assets, the messaging, the persona, competitors, the differentiator, all that's here. And you'll notice that those things are also over here in the interface. So this is just a reflection visually of what you've put into the data. And so a couple of things that are worth noting here to show you how I did what I did is I used AI to get me 80% there. And then I went in and started refining some of the areas that I think are really interesting for us to look at. And again, you could add 20 more tabs here and add a lot more to the interface. It's super easy to edit these pages, to add pages, to add different sections, to filter your views. It's so easy. It's all plug and play, drag and drop, click and go. It's so easy to use. But let me show you what I did with the data. Let's go over here to this area that's listed as content ideation and content or campaign planning. And I'll show you a really great feature in Airtable. Let's go to ideation. All I have to do is like type in an idea. So maybe you're with your team and you're sitting around and you're brainstorming some ideas. And this is that human interaction. You know your brand really well, and maybe you want to focus on, again, you're an outdoor brand in this mock-up that I created. Maybe you want to focus on top 10 national parks to visit in North America, and you want to do a series around that maybe. And I went ahead and told it, let's go ahead and choose these channels. I could add more of the channels that I put in the other tab that I showed you on our channels tab up here. That's you see right here. And so whatever's populated there is also populating here. So all I got to do is just choose the channels that I want. Well, let's say I want Facebook and Instagram and email marketing. Okay, great. So now I've got those three channels. I've selected the persona. Remember, I've got all the personas over here. I just got to list those personas and talk about the profile. And then I can choose those personas in my content ideation tab, which is fantastic. So I can go down here and I can look at adventure seeking Alex, and he's the persona. I want these channels to be represented. And so I'm going to go over here, back over here to AI enhanced content. And you'll see that I'm writing as a content marketing expert. I'm starting with this raw idea, and I'm going to write content that is suitable for the channels that have been selected up here. Now, when writing, write in a style that resonates with the persona details below. And what I've done here is I've just literally pulled in all of the variables and the behavioral data from these personas up here. So it's already there. I don't have to retype it. I literally just have to choose these variables that I already have in the database. So this is pretty solid. And then it gives you a preview. So let's look at the preview. This is all AI generated. And this is really fantastic. So what it did, it created a post for us. Now we can edit this. And so if we don't like it, we want to take it and say, well, AI did a great job, but let's take it the rest of the way. We could do that, and we can edit things right here, and then we literally copy and paste this over into whatever tool that we're using to post on our socials. So again, on the content ideation side, we literally just have to come up with an idea. Let's say that I wanted to just create a new topic. The top five, what should we say, trails for backpacking. Let's come up with this. Now, as soon as I do that, I have to choose some things like, is it scheduled or not? No, it's not. Who is my audience? Let's go choose eco-friendly Emma on this one. And in this case, we're going to write for LinkedIn. And so now you'll see that right here, we have a new button that just appeared called Generate. And so watch what's going to happen here. Now that this is built in, I'm just going to hit the button Generate, and it is doing its magic for us. Saves us a lot of time. Again, is it going to be perfect? Probably not, but it gets us way down the road. And look at this. It came up with 5 great trails that we could highlight and talk about. Now, you'll notice the next tab then gets even fancier, because now I've told it to take whatever is in here and create an image prompt for me. So in other words, we're telling AI to give us the prompt to use in AI. And so now I'm going to hit this generate button, and now this is going to create a prompt for the post that it just created. And we can take this prompt right here, and we could throw it into Flux or Ideogram or whatever tool you like to use, DALL-E, and this is a pretty great prompt. Create a photorealistic image capturing the essence of eco-conscious backpacking. Now, why did it say that? Well, it said that because we told it to look at the persona, which is eco-friendly Emma in this case. The only other thing I would show you is that in the campaign planning area, again, we kind of did something similar to the content ideation, which is we just come up with a campaign name. Let's call this let's just call this our post Thanksgiving sale. This is going to be a campaign. It's in planning right now. We're going to really target, in this case, tech savvy Tom. And we're going to really focus here on our landing page as well as our primary website. And of course, we could fill out anything. Now, let me show you what's really cool here is that you'll see that there's a new button that showed up called Generate. And that's because, once again, I used this little button here called Generate Values with AI. It's literally a toggle on and off. That's literally all you have to do. And suddenly, AI shows up for you to use in any column in Airtable. That's pretty slick. And so in this case, it tells us that we can now generate. And what is it that we're going to generate? Well, you can see the prompt right here that I created. You can change it to whatever you want. But I said, you're a chief marketing officer. Start with the campaign idea below. And here's the campaign name that we grab from here dynamically. Create a strategy for the marketing team that includes 2 to 3 suggested tactics in the next 90 days. The strategy should account for these channels, and of course, we list the channels that show up, and make sure the strategy makes sense for the persona details below, which also are dynamic data from these other fields. And so what did it do? Well, this is pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and generate it and see what it comes up with. And so what's going to happen is it's taking that prompt, it's using the information that we've already given it, and let's expand this and see what it did. This is really not bad at all. So basically, it's given me a couple of strategy items for us to think about. Now, are these going to be the final? No, they're not. But this would be fantastic to show up at a meeting with your team and say, hey, here's some of the ideas that we have on the table. What do you think? Should we do this? Should we not do this? What if we started with an idea, then we expand on an idea? This is a fantastic tool for you and your team, and will kind of get you past some of that writer's block maybe that you might be having. And the great news is you'll have this organized so that all of your campaigns, past campaigns, are here, and all of your future campaigns that you're planning, you can start putting in here and start building strategy around them. Well, I hope that's been helpful. Essentially, just to recap, what we've done is we used AI in Airtable, and we just said, hey, go create an interface for us, and it did. Then we went and cleaned up and did a few things, and I'm going to give you all those things to make it maybe a little bit more usable for us. And then we took advantage of Airtable's built-in and native tools like AI in any column. And we're also taking advantage of Airtable's interfaces that is literally just one click away that turns all of that data into a actual app, which is really cool. So I could literally send a link to my team by sharing this and say, hey guys, here's everything that you need to know about our brand. Here's the colors, here's the brand assets that you can download the logos from. Here's our competitors. Listen, if you show this to your boss, this will make you a rock star pretty quick. And you built it in just a few minutes. And so great news is it didn't cost you hardly any money. All you have to do is have Airtable. So I hope that's been helpful. Make sure you click down below. You can download this Airtable and get a link to it and copy it for yourself. Change anything that you want. And if you ever get stuck, of course, with Airtable, there are a ton of tools online that you can find out how to use the most basic features in Airtable. But always feel free to drop me a line and I'll be glad to help you out. So I hope you enjoy organizing things and getting organized and helping your team collaborate better. I hope that this tool will help you in the year ahead, in the next 12 months, the next 6 months, the next 3 months, whatever your sites are on right now. I hope this tool will help you get there faster, be more efficient, and feel more on top of your game.